All right. Good morning. It is 6:41 a.m. Pacific time. It is Monday. What's the date today? It's the day after Cinco de Mayo, so it is May 6th, 2019. Welcome to my video trading journal. Just real quick, let's kind of review what you're looking at. These are price ladders or order books. You will not be seeing charts on my videos because I don't use them. I use them briefly in the morning just to kind of review the overnight action, and that's it. So there's 5 products here moving left to right. We have the Ultra Bond, symbol UB, ZB, which is a 30-year. Right here, basically in the middle is a ZF, it's a 5-year. Then we have the ZN, which is the second to the right, and that is the 10-year. Symbol ZN. And then all the way here on the left, or on the right, excuse me, is the ES, which is the E-mini S&P. And that typically acts as a negative correlation to these products here. This is the Jigsaw day trader platform. If you want to know more about it, I suggest you look at their YouTube videos, or I'll even put a little link up here in the right hand corner so you can click on it and find out some more information. I don't really teach how to trade it, so if you're new to this whole thing, I suggest you look at their videos, look at their tutorials, and figure it out. It's very, very basic, very simple platform. Once you learn how to use it, you can make tons of money. And I'm not just saying that, it's true. But you must learn how to use it first. That's the key. So let's look at what's going on this morning. We're about 15 minutes after cash open. Let's see, the overnight was pretty good range. We had some Trump tweets, and that tends to help to stoke the market one way or the other. The cash markets or equities are down pretty bigly, which kind of stoked up the fixed income products overnight, and since then they've kind of slumped back in. So we had the open down here at 18 even, basically spiked up, just kind of did a little bit of a quick trend for a few hours, and then it just sort of ran out of juice, and it's been slumping down ever since. This level here right around 23, 22, 22 half has been sort of support overnight. So you can see it in the volume profile. It has basically been holding thus far this morning, so that's become an area of interest for me just in the short term. Again, we're just about 15 minutes into cash open, so about the time we might look at start to engage, but right now we're just going to continue our review and see what happens. So let's review the economic calendar real quick. Let's see, today is May 6th, like I said, and there is nothing on this calendar. Let me just double check. Pulling up another calendar that has a more international options just in case. Nope, couple of Fed speeches, and then we have a 6-month auction and a 3-month auction at 8:30 a.m. But the speeches, one of them's going on right now. I don't really expect that to impact us too much. So that's good. I don't have to worry about that. Context is pretty volatile, which is great. or thus far anyway. Again, we're dealing with the overnight. Got a bit of a spike here, pretty decent range already in the ES. This is just cash. And the range in the overnight was like, let me pull up a quick chart just to take a look-see. But we had gap down scenario. And yeah, so opened at 29.17 all the way down to 28.84. So in the gap, I mean the gap's, let's see, basically 29.50. It's like almost a 30-point, more than a 30-point gap. Pretty wild. So that just gives you an idea of kind of the context. I wouldn't be surprised if this traded all the way down to the overnight low. Especially if we get a gap fill in the S&P. So let's see, kind of what to work on today. Just getting back into things. I've been out of the loop for a while. Took about a week off. I made a couple trades, couple quick trades in there with fairly limited success. Last night was a little bit better. I saw that I like to peek at the markets when I'm not at the battle station here, and I saw yesterday that we had some activity during the overnight, excuse me, and I popped through here and there was enough action to kind of put a couple trades on, and that was, I was able to pull a few ticks out, which is really cool to do on a Sunday. Kind of just gives you a little buffer for the coming week. Yeah, but otherwise I'm just super rusty. Not used to getting up this early. I don't care what I say. You know, it's not necessarily a burden, but it's just bothersome to have to wake up so early in the morning when the rest of the world's waking up, you know, an hour from now or whatever. It's just the burden of the choice you make, I guess, for living on the West Coast. Yeah, so I'm going to continue to caffeinate, kind of watch what's going on. It looks like this shelf is kind of holding over here in the ZN, also in the ZB. So I'm going to clear the orders out here and just kind of keep an eye on things. We know what our range is. You can see the price action's kind of settled off a little bit. This drops back in. Sorry, I stopped talking because I thought I saw an opportunity here as it was dropping in to catch it before it went. Not sure how long I want to hold this order out. I want to move over here to the 10-year. Try to get filled. People love to buy the VWAP over here in the E-mini, and that's kind of where we're at, just below the VWAP. It's a typical buying opportunity for those guys. So you could expect as this falls down in here that 10-year would push up a little bit and then pull back in. Just the danger is that this gets bought up like that, and then we just get run over, which you just see like 3,000 just pulling off here. It's basically we're going to need this to hold, otherwise we're going to have to pull this off pretty quickly here. Just going to keep an eye on what's going on in these other products, level everything out. Basically, we need 22 to hold. I know people say if you keep too close of an eye on what's going on over here in the ES, you might as well just trade the ES, and that's a really good point, actually. So try not to give it too much credence. However, it definitely plays a factor. Just piecing clues together here. So just kind of as I suspected here, the good news is that we're getting some pushback already, and we're basically back at the highs over here in the ES, and we're really only just offer at our entry. Like I said previously, I could definitely see this thing selling down all the way down this little tail, if not more, just because the tweets are pretty ephemeral. They don't last long. Everybody knows, you know, they're bullshit. It's just algorithms, in my opinion, probably keying on pulling out keywords and just selling off markets. Everybody knows Trump doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. They just take it as an opportunity to stoke volatility, to stoke the markets and add some volume and take advantage of the volume. But we'll see what happens. Too many times, you see these big sell-offs, especially in the overnight or the extra time, just get bought right back up during cash hours. No real investors out there anymore. It's all short-term traders. Adding liquidity to the markets so they can be out as quickly as they can be in, and vice versa. So I don't know if the fact that this hasn't gone yet is a good thing or a bad thing at this point. I want to say it's a good thing. Sellers have tried to sell this down a few times. They bought it right back up, so it kind of held this level for a while. So we pushed higher and we're still holding this level, so I'm going to go ahead and add to my position. And immediately we have 4,000 down with 2,000 up. And the 5-year looks like it's popping this level. Man, shit's just unrelenting over here. We really need 22 to hold, like I said. 5 years 2 ticks down, that's not good. So you got the Ultra Bond up, 30 years up. 5 year and the 10 year. 10 years right at that level still, right at the black line here that we use for our centering of all these products. So I really like this shelf here. I think this is still would be, you know, if you're just coming into the market right now and looking at what's going on, kind of assessing price action and whatnot, this shelf is really attractive. So I would be looking at this as an area of interest. Just need to see seller or buyers really kind of step up and take out this offer. Not only take out this offer, but take out this offer. I think that's when everybody else will start piling on. Also need to see the 5 year like catch a fucking bid. Luckily this hasn't puffed up yet. And the bid hasn't pulled off completely. I hesitate to say stuff like that because as soon as I do, it just happens. So it's just, but that's kind of what we're looking at. So here we go, a little bit of stepping up by buyers. Hopefully other buyers see that and they want to jump on. Okay, so we took out 22, now we took out 22.5. Let's see if people start piling on now. If we fall back into 22 even. So even the Ultra Bond's selling down now. The 30 years back down to our line. 5 years still can't catch a bid beyond 18. Since we've been in this trade, which is, let's see how long we've been in. Oh, come on. Over 15 minutes. We have like a little 2-tick range here. Again, like I can't really get a good read on whether that's, we've held 22 thus far. So I don't know if the stall is a good thing for us or a bad thing. Looking at orders here, we have a little too much balance for my taste. Really like to see this be more like, you know, 30,000 versus 7,000 or something. 30,000 on the sell side, meaning buyers are just absorbing all the selling. So that just pulled off there. That's not good. Up until this point, that was holding pretty well over 4,000. You see over here that they're starting to, looks like they're starting to give up. in the 30-year and the Ultra Bond. First sign that we might really be in trouble here. And the 5-year traded down below the 18-quarter. Yeah, we're in trouble. Now everybody's just going to pile on, use this as resistance, and just sell this back down. So it's good just to get out here. So this is a situation where you kind of think, well, we popped this level, so now it turns into a selling opportunity. Should I take it off after with a 2-tick loss, or should I wait for the full 3-tick? So at this point, I don't really see this as a buying opportunity for anybody. 5-year selling down. I mean, the 30-year and the Ultra Bond are still holding that level. Yeah, it's tough. But if you were just to come into the market now and look at this, you'd say, well, it broke that shelf, so I'm not going to buy it. If anything, you're going to sell it. Especially if push the highs in the ES, it just puts too much pressure over here. So I think taking this off with a 2-tick loss is, capital preservation. Don't necessarily see this pushing through higher or even back up to our entry for a scratch. At least not right at this moment. I'm watching this thing try to claw its way back up, and I hesitate to even say anything, just because I'd be very, very surprised if we actually got back up into this range. And I don't want to jinx anything. I know that's kind of silly, but it is kind of how I'm feeling right now. I think, like I said, this is once it pops that lip, people see this as an opportunity to sell this back down, which is what I should be doing. I should be trying to cover my position, in my opinion. That said, I'm seeing Ultra Bond trade back up into the range. Actually never really popped that shelf per se. I guess they did for a couple ticks, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot in those products because they tend to slip those levels a little bit more. But again, I just see this. I think this turned into a sell once we broke that shelf, and that's just what's happening now. It's a little bit of a pullback, and then people are going to sell it back down. Even on a chart too, it looks like it's definitely, support turns into resistance. This actually should have been right down here. It'd take a lot to push back up through that. So should I be trying to work a scratch? I guess so. It's basically just hoping now, you know. That never works, the whole hoping thing. I won't say it never works, but it rarely works. It's just, you know, you're injecting your human emotion onto what's going on in the markets. And I mean, the markets are representative of human emotion, I guess, but at the same time, there's systems and whatnot in place. And that's really what's driving everything. It's not people like me sitting around clicking on boxes. It's people selling resistance and buying support. People meaning, you know, big time traders and algorithms. So that pulled off. That was at 3,000 and went down to about 21. That's why I pulled my order. Just kind of, again, hoping. Took out 22.5. At least now we have options, I think. Still need the 5-year to really get going. Kind of help us out a little bit. You can tell these two, 10-year and the 5-year, are definitely trading together today. And the Ultra Bond and 30-year trading a little bit more in concert. You know what would really suck is if this whole thing just came right back on me, or I had an opportunity to scratch, and it, again, sellers jumped in and just sold this thing all the way back to me. That would really suck. I don't want to let that happen. It's kind of one of these scenarios where it gets to this level, it's got to happen quickly, or you just need to make a really important decision to just hold on to your capital. I've been in this trade for 45 minutes. Holy shit. Based on that little flood of that little sweep of orders over here and how much this bid's stacking up, I'm going to wait and see what happens. I think that was kind of a second chance little buying opportunity down here. Yeah, if I get kind of run over here, which I think is what's going to happen at this point, it's basically my own fault. What to do, kids? I don't know. What to do? One thing to kind of keep in mind here as we look at this sort of start to trade back up through our strike price is that there's some added volatility today that I didn't really take into account. And those of you that have watched some of my previous videos understand that, or just even watch this market here, the ZN and the 10-year, know that this will hold to a tick. A lot of times it'll hold right to a shelf like this. It won't even go below it, or it might trade, you know, like you see here, 370 something. But on a day like today where you have added volatility, it's not unusual to see this slip a tick or two. And I really didn't take that into account in kind of my narrative. So really, in reality, I should be going in with less size and a bigger stop, or not a bigger, more range of stop. That's kind of the better way to trade what's going on today, as opposed to loading up on a level and expecting it to hold to the tick. If this trade does pan out, I basically just got lucky. And I kind of just made the decision to let it ride at this point. luck does play a big role in trading. I don't care what anybody says. It's definitely true. That's kind of the shitty part of day trading, if there's a shitty part, is that you imagine if this, basically the only thing that kept me alive was this bid didn't fall below 2,500. So if you imagine if it would have briefly fallen below 2,500 and then gone right back up like it did, because only 300 traded down, 377. So if that would have knocked that bid below 2,500, I would have been stopped out, and then it went right back up to my strike price, and I'd have an opportunity to scratch. That's kind of the only shitty thing about day trading. When stuff like that happens, that's why it's having this volume stop in here is invaluable. Otherwise, you just get stopped on first touch, and it goes right back up, just like all these guys did. And that really sucks. Too long time in trade. Ultra bond's selling all the way down to the lows. 30-year's getting there. 5-year can't catch a bid. You can see some little bit of an unbalance here where sellers have been just absorbing all the buying at this level. Okay, stopped out. We're done. Long time in trade. Okay, so quick review. Level of interest was 22.5, 22. We decided to go ahead and engage at that level. A little bit of volatility today, so we kind of got ticked through a little bit, got rescued by the volume stop, and we were able to come up and scratch because we added to our position at 22. It actually covered commissions. I think you could do the math real quick. Yep, covered commissions. So we got an even day. I mean, we're positive, but it's pretty much even with costs. And that's it. I'm not sure if I'll post this. If I do, kudos to you for sitting through the whole thing. But yeah, that's it for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy trading. Good luck.